Okay, this is the quick start guide for the RelayerXM. When you first pull the RelayerXM out of the box and plug it into your network, it will pick up a local IP address. You can plug a monitor directly into the RelayerXM and that IP address will show on the screen. Or you can check inside your router to find that address. Once you find that address, plug it into a browser on your smartphone, tablet, laptop, any other computer on your network. It will take you to the SSO login screen for XNS services. If you already have an XNS account, go ahead and enter it in here, and then your RelayerXM will show up under console with your other XM full licenses and in the future other XMiner assets that are available. If you don't have an account on the console yet for XNS, then click on Register and fill out the form and create a new account. This will be the account that your relayer will access the network from. And that will bring us to the setup page. On the setup page, we're going to be doing a couple of basic tasks to set up the relayer and the XMiner. And now we're going ahead and moving on to next. This is an SSH login to Linux. You probably will never need to use this, but you need to have it anyway in case you need to get deep into the machine or provide remote access to the machine. So go ahead and create your own private password for that. Make sure you write them down. Then on the next step down below are the two key core softwares that the RelayerXM provides, the Relayer and the XM, the XMiner. Both of them are highlighted and checkmarked, and we're going to install both by default, so we'll go ahead and leave them checked. If you have a specific reason to only have one or the other, you can uncheck it here, and then it will not install. So my RelayerXM has now come up and installed, and I am now ready with an account on the console, XNS console, to move forward and set up the ports for the XMiner. I'm going to leave the port configuration at default, and I will need to forward these ports in my router, same as any other XMiner. Now that I've set up configuration, the RelayerXM is fully installing the software for both the Relayer and the XMiner. Now that the installation is complete, we will soon be redirected to that dashboard. On the main dashboard, you have very basic configuration items to watch having to do with CPU and memory usage, which can highlight you if there are any problems with your RelayerXM. There are also configure buttons to take you back to those initial items that you coded in when you first set up the unit. On the Relayer, your console credentials. On the XMiner, the forwarding of the ports and so forth. There are some additional menus below, which we'll get into shortly. For now, let's take a look at each individual device on the network. When the relayer is first brought up, it isn't started yet, so you will need to start it. And once it starts, it begins to go through all of its processes of finding providers out there on the network, of checking all the various modules inside the relayer, and getting it ready to go. This is all relayer related stuff, so we aren't going to spend much time on that in this video, although we will come back for a brief moment later. For now, let's just go look at the XMiner. The XMiner will start off by downloading Consensus, where it bootstraps a copy of the blockchain and sets up all the configuration for the XMiner. So that's going to take a little bit of time. And now we'll click on Next. And this will bring up the information relative to our seed. We need to copy this file to a safe place or save the PDF. It takes a little bit for it to set everything up on the back end with our network. And then once that's done, it brings it up on the screen. Now you have to just ensure that your ports are open. You have to send a couple of coins to the device in order for it to announce and have collateral, but it is a fully operational and running XMiner now. Add-ons are a unique functionality that we've built into the RelayerXM. What add-ons do is provide Dockerized containered access to applications that can be really powerful utilities to help you with the relayer or the examiner or both. You can add add-on for the web wallet. You can add one for the XNS map. You can add net data, which provides some information relative to temperatures and performance of various components in the configuration. And we have a full plan to add multiple add-ons, many add-ons going forward, including the ability for community to develop add-ons and submit them to the repository to be available. You can see below that the legend will tell you the status of any given individual add-on. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to add an add-on called the SMB Network Share. What the SMB Network Share is, it's based on technology called Samba. And what this will allow us to do is to create a mapped drive folder on the PC that we are currently working on. Once we've started the SMB configuration, we don't really have to do anything else, but we should look below here to the configuration and set a username and a password. In this case, I'm just going to make a very simple one. And I'm going to save those results. And now I'm going to go to the relayer. To set up the SMB network share, you're going to need to have a live bucket. The relayer is an S3 compatible device. S3 works on this principle of objects, buckets, and files. They're loosely associated with folders and file directories. So what you can do is you can set up a bucket, which is going to correspond on your PC or Macintosh to a folder. And so let's do that right now. And to do that, we go into the file manager. We'll create a new bucket called SC Prime. Now that we have that there, what we can do is we can pull up a directory on our computer and enter in \, the IP address of our relayer, and the name of that bucket that we created. That will bring up a Network Credentials tab, and we'll go ahead and we'll put in the information that we created on the SMB network share. We get an empty folder. Anything that's on our computer can be dragged and dropped onto this folder, and it will automatically upload it to the cloud. We can go in here and we can create subfolders now, and we can create a folder hierarchy. We can also add and create multiple buckets and provide permissioning for them, and only the people that we provide permissioning for can access those individual buckets. If you go up one level back to the IP address, you will see the bucket identified as a network mapped folder drive. So there you go, the RelayerXM Quickstart.